afternoon, it's Kelly from the County Brant Public Library. How's everybody today? We have some exciting fall projects ahead of us, and today we're working on what I call make the mask be the focus. So we're working with a paper mask, actually. Paper, which is one of my favorite mediums, as you know, and multiple things that we can decorate it with. So a relatively easy project. We're doing a little bit of paper mache over the mask. So what I've done is I've started actually my mask already, and I didn't actually glue it down. I have actually just tacked it down with a couple pieces of my paper. I did that all the way around, and then I started to put my paper mache on it. As you know, and I've always said before, glue sticks best to glue. In saying that, I've got white glue for you. Don't hesitate to water it down a little bit. It's a little bit tacky, this stuff, so I actually probably think I would water it down a little bit. Have your pieces of paper ready to go. So what I've done is I've cut them in two different sizes, longer strips and then little strips, because you're going to need little smaller strips for around the face and the nose. And just have your scissors handy, it's easy. I find that I cut them this time. A lot of the times I don't cut them. I prefer them with the rough edge. Whatever you like is what you're going to do, not what I want to do. So my original intent was to do all paper and leave it as a natural. But when I was working on my original one, as you see, I ended up painting it and added a little bit of color with the butterflies. But I think this one, I'm going to actually leave it natural. I tried to stain it and I didn't like it, so that's probably why I went with the paint. So gluing on, as I said before, I just tacked the sides around first, and I would continue all the way around my mask on the sides. And once you start getting to the point, make sure you start overlapping some of your pieces. It always looks better if you overlap them a little bit. So as I said, glue sticks better to glue, so I try to put a little bit of glue on my mask and my board. And you're going to arrange your mask on your board the way you like it. I always like it like a little off center, a little crooked, but that's just my personality. So you're going to do it all the way around the side. And make sure you have your sponge always wet when you add it to your board, because if you don't, then it starts moving your paper around a little bit and it just makes it more difficult. So once you get all that done, you're going to let it dry thoroughly. While you're letting it dry, you're going to decide on what you want to decorate your mask with. Your kit's going to have some nice butterflies, a pattern to make the mask. This random flower here I've got on the top of my mask, I don't know if you can see that. It's just some old paper I had at home that was just thick and pretty, so I just crumbled it up to make it like a nice rose. I added a bead in it because I thought the mask just needed something large, because you always see masks and they have these beautiful large headpieces on them. Let me start again. One thing I forgot to tell you, I cut my mask off and I took the elastic off the back. I cut it off just about ½ an inch, not even ½ inch all the way around. I just didn't like the way it stuck up so far, but if you want to leave it the way it comes, that's entirely up to you. But it's fairly easy to cut. I just use regular scissors to cut it. What's next? So we're going to finish your mask. We're going to let it dry. We're going to decide if we want to paint it or leave it clear. My original one, I had done the background black, so that when you look through the eyes, it was black. This one I'm just going to leave white, because this one I've decided that I'm definitely going to leave it with just paper and some colorful decorations. don't know, can you see that? Very good. Yeah. You get the hint about that. So once you've got it all done and it's dried, this is the fun part. You get to do your decorations. There's so many ideas online to figure out what you want to do. But I wanted to do with paper, and I wanted to be fairly simple. So I've just done myself a fan kind of thing. I folded it a couple different ways to see which way I like. So you're actually going to glue these pieces together. Do you remember how to fold a fan? That's a good question, isn't it? Okay, fold the fan. Just fold. Make sure you press really quite hard, actually. And try to keep your folds fairly consistent. Just flip around and fold. And you know, you get the idea anyway. So I'm just going to glue this together. I use lots of glue. It doesn't hurt to have extra glue. If you have some beads or some buttons or some fancy paper at home, that would look really cool actually, the fancy paper. But again, I wanted to do just something simple. So I'm just going to add that to my mask up top there. Now I literally went outside and picked some leaves, traced them on my paper, and cut them out. So my top leaves are quite large on this mask, but this one I'm going to do smaller ones. Oh God, I'm sticking to the glue. So I actually just photocopied them from one of the online sites. And it's a little bit stiffer paper, but you don't have to put leaves on at all. It's entirely up to you. I like leaves because I love the shape of leaves. So you're going to just decorate it how you think that it's going to work. It's hard to do it upside down. Okay, so then you're going to have a little mask that you can make for your mask. I have done this really fancy one. I wasn't too sure I actually liked it or not. But because I was doing a butterfly theme, I thought it would work out actually kind of cool. And the colors are pretty neat. So once your mask is dry, you're going to cut your mask for your mask and make sure it fits nicely around the nose. That's the big thing, right? And then you're going to add some butterflies. You're going to have lots of different butterflies in your kit. I just kind of fold them up so that they look like they're flying. And then you're just going to glue just down the center and add them to your mask. You might not want that big of a mask. You might not want that big of a butterfly, but you decide what you like. The one I really liked, the mask that I really liked online was literally all paper. The butterflies were paper, all different colors of paper, and it was really cool. I quite liked it actually. So then you're going to make your rose. Actually, a rose would be kind of cool to make. Or add some burlap. Make a nice little burlap flower. Make it a little nicer than that. Because burlap, I always think this is such a natural thing with all the paper and the butterflies. It's just a natural thing. So you could actually do your burlap in maybe a fan type of thing and put it on as well. So this is going to be the fun part for you, is to decide how you want to decorate your mask. Just have fun with it, that's all I can say. On my original one, I was going to leave the lips white, but then I decided at the last minute to do them gold, and I just used a marker. But it's actually kind of fun, and it actually just changes the shape of the lips just a little bit. But if you want, you can always add a little bit of red just for a little pop of color, extra pop of color. Because if you're going to use the butterflies, you're going to have lots of color. So have fun, enjoy the process. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call. You have a great day. Thanks.